Hey guys. I've had to take my glasses off because when I put them on so that I can see you, this is what happens. So I can't actually see anything that's happening on the screen on my face. And I'm super tired. It's 9:38 Mountain Time, which means it's really late where the rest of you are probably. Maybe unless you're in Australia and then you're already awake. I don't know. But I had promised to vlog tonight, and I'm just getting around to it. Jeremy's doing finals until like 11 tonight, and my mom just left. She was helping me with the girls so I could go buy potty candies at Target and some lotion. Anyway, it's basically mommy time that I snuck in. And so this is just happening, but I have had a really rough month, and I decided today to take charge of myself. And I thought it would be a good opportunity to share with all of you and document it as I go along because I'm thinking I gotta take these off. I'm thinking that it might help some of you. And the whole point of this blog when I started it was to help moms, dads, parents, whoever you are, but primarily the person staying home and needing some sanity, but also myself for my own mental wellness because I went from working to staying home, and that was a huge shift for me. Well, right when my career was taking off, I became a mom of two in 18 months. That's how I feel. So the short version is that I had a Nora, and then Brecken was a uh-oh. And I don't entirely believe in uh-ohs. I mean, let's be serious. If you're not doing anything to prevent a pregnancy, it's not really an uh-oh when it happens, is it? We like to pretend it's an uh-oh so we don't take maybe the responsibility of that. But if you're not doing anything to prevent it, it's not an uh-oh. So Brecken came along. And I was 9 months out of having a Nora. So basically, when you add up your whole pregnancy plus then giving birth to a child, you have to tack on the 40 weeks, which is essentially 10 months, ladies who aren't pregnant or having children yet. It's 10 months of pregnancy. And so for 18, 19 months, I've been dealing with hormones and all that. I had a Nora, and then all of a sudden, right as I'm starting to feel like myself, I have Brecken. Brecken comes along. And I was talking with a friend today from high school, actually, Christy, about the trauma that produces on the body. The outcome of a pregnancy is incredibly beautiful and life fulfilling if it's something that you desire, but the reality is that pregnancy in general takes just such a toll on the body. And I had Brecken, and with Honora it was super easy. I worked. I remember getting up really fast one day to help one of the toddlers, and my coworker saying, "Wow, that was really fast." I mean, I was able to move and just really get at it. Then Brecken came along, and I had had children so back to back that my hip was still loosey-goosey and out of place. My scar from the C-section that occurred with Honora was so tight I had to see a physical therapist. Hey, Nikki! To help stretch that and massage the fascia out. I had to have her work on my hip. I had to wear this super sexy belt. I'll put it on for you guys one day to help SI lock belt, to keep my SI joint in place, and or is it a joint? Pretty sure it's a joint in place so that my hips would be balanced. I mean, it was miserable. I couldn't roll over at night without extreme pain the whole time I was pregnant with her because she's stretching this scar, and I just had a really hard time with her. And so, this back-to-back pregnancy was serious trauma. And I was talking with my friend Christy about this earlier, how the body just takes a hit. But it's not just a body that goes through a trauma. It's your spirit, it's your mind, your hormones are crazy, it's your hair. I mean, it's like falling out in gobs now that I'm not pregnant anymore. It's your skin, your breastises, everything, right? If you get stretch marks, I did not, thankfully. But I know a lot of people that did, and it's like every party has to change, not just your life, but everything. And so I went through this for months and months and months and months. Excuse me, hiccups. And I was really quickly recovered with Honora. I went back to week. It's 9:43. Back to work at 6 weeks. I hadn't even had a 6-week checkup yet for my C-section. I started carrying around toddlers again at work, and I was fine. With Brecken, the recovery for her was just so hard, and I'm finally feeling like my body was getting back to the way it needed to be. But this last month, I started feeling super depressed, or manic even. Like one day I would wake up, and it's not PPD, it's not postpartum depression, but I would wake up and be like, today's gonna be the greatest day ever. Usually if I got an extra hour of sleep, you know what I'm saying, ladies? Or I'd wake up and it would just be like, I didn't even like my children. Does that make sense? I like actually just didn't want to be around today. I didn't want to have to breastfeed Brecken, who won't take a bottle, by the way. So I literally can never leave that, like, go more than 2 or 3 hours from her. I left for 6 hours recently, and she didn't eat the whole time. So, you know, I've had all this going on, and I'm like, why am I so up and down? I'm feeling spiritually heavy, mentally heavy. My heart's been heavy. My marriage isn't getting any attention. This sexiness is happening all by itself. I actually went 1 week and couldn't remember the last time I took a shower, okay? And this isn't just typical stay-at-home mommy stuff. This is like straight up something crazy's happening. So it's not, I've talked to my doctor, I've had my thyroid test, I've had all that stuff done. Shelly, my best friend, asked me about my thyroid today. I've had all that checked out. It's just me. So there's some things that I'm going to be doing. And I thought I would invite you along via this vlog to pay attention to what I'm doing. And maybe it will help you, which was the whole point of this blog anyway, in some aspect, because let's face it, I'm talking to moms. There are stay-at-home dads. Dads feel the same kind of stuff in different ways. But the majority is still a mom. And so I'm going to talk to you about it because you're the one whose hormones are crazed. So the first thing I started with was the spiritual heaviness. Now, spirituality takes on a different form for everybody. And even, it doesn't matter what you believe, you still have some kind of spirituality about you. For me, it is God, and it's not just a God. It's the God of the Bible. It's always been that way. I don't sit around pontificating or talking about it a ton unless asked. But for the purposes of this blog, that's where I started. And there are two basic commandments, if you will, not just the 10, that Jesus said were most important now. Loving God, which I check that box off. Hey, buddy, right? And loving your neighbor. And so when I thought about my spiritual well-being, it was to get myself in check, the way I speak to my children, all of that. But I also felt like I need to get back to my neighbor, get to know my neighbor, get involved again. And Jeremy and I had just kind of started dealing with the tension of modern, like, Christian behavior, those that don't represent that particular spirituality very well, or religion. And we had just kind of started going back to church again and grappling with that and trying to find a place that we felt met our ideas and our hearts. And so we'd been in one for a while, and I thought, well, where could I do something here? And so the first step I did on the spiritual side of things for myself was get involved with the youth program there. It actually made me pretty nauseous. I signed up thinking that I was going to help during the holiday season when they had like a shortage of people helping with programming and stuff. And next thing I know, long story short, I'm sitting down in the church offices the other day feeling like a big old heathen, just compared to the people I'm sitting with, who are these wonderful people, about the youth program as it pertains to high schoolers. And I did this a long time ago, and some of you that were in that program are probably, computer, gonna, watch this and laugh. But I was involved with the youth back when I met Jeremy, and I kind of walked away from that. I was working with younger kids now, just in my profession. So it's not that this is a foreign topic, but it's not my ideal age group anymore. So I find out their need isn't with the little kids, and it's not just during the holiday season, it's like all year. And it's with 10th grade girls. Now, what in the world? The front door just jimmy jawed. I don't know if it's Jeremy or. Wait now. I think Jeremy's home. That's fine then. I'm going to pause this blog, scoop up some dinner, let him in,